Hey there, this is Fleety on location, or Sean Wally as other people know me, and I am walking along the Sincheon River, and just a lot of things going through my mind at the moment, that's all. So I thought I'd just take this moment to talk, and just let you guys kind of know what's going on a little bit. You get to be about 38 years old, you start to observe a lot of things over life. How people act, react, how certain communities, big, small, family, you start noticing how a lot of things interact, happen. And what's also interesting is after 38 years, you start to realize how where you put down your own roots personally, the environment affects you. What I mean by this, and by the way, nothing's scripted. I'm walking, nothing's on the other hand, just talking, being upfront and honest. The personal garden, as I want to call it, where you set your roots down, be it for a few days, a few months, years, your lifetime, a couple of generations. That environment is what is going to start to slowly mold you. And it's not going to be a fast molding, like a potter or an artist using supple clay. It's going to be more of a residual, ongoing pressure. It's going to push on you and pull and tug until you're into a shape, form, or function that suits your environment and not you. So keep that in mind. There's going to be changes and pressure to be put on you to suit what is around you. Sometimes this is good, sometimes this is bad. How we let the environment affect us dictates how, what's a good word? Dictates how we are going to function in the environment and affect those around us, because we all each individually have an effect on people. You might not know it right now, but if you stop, take a while, just look and observe for several days, you'll notice the effects that you have around you, be it big, small, subtle, aggressive, calm, take your pick. Now, going according to that, this is what I've learned. Over the years, I've not invested in myself, taken care of myself, or tried to be someone more positive and energetic. I was always distracted. Distracted by what? Existing. Paycheck to paycheck. How am I going to get that bill paid? How am I going to afford this? How am I going to get that? I want, I need, instead of I have, I'm good. So, the other thing that you notice, or that I've noticed, is when you let the environment control you, you start to suffer in many ways. For years, since I hit the age of 30, I've had increasing number of debilitating migraines. Plays havoc with work, plays havoc with normal life, plays havoc with creativity. And last year and a half ago, I let a lot of things in my environment affect me without dealing with it by trying to be there for a lot of other people who also need to consider how they affect others and how to take care of things. But because of that, yay, good old sweat. But because of that, I ended up having seizures, which nobody can understand. Everything checks out. I'm healthy average 30 some year old. Brain is fine. They've done scans, a blood test, monitoring, you name it. still having seizures. So, the environments that I had transplanted myself throughout the years led to both physical issues like migraines and seizures and mental issues. Twice I've tried to commit suicide in Washington, and ever since then I tend to have suicidal tendencies and thoughts every 2 or 3 weeks, sometimes more. Now, by this point you might be going, okay, why the hell are we listening to this? What's new? Where's the pictures? Where's the videos? You're in South Korea, you're supposed to be having fun. What's with the talk? Well, I came here to South Korea using a cane because sometimes my legs would collapse on me. I'd have balance issues, feel nauseous, sick. I got here to Korea. It's been about 65 days out of the 79. I go home in 2 weeks, and I am walking 3 to 5 miles a day. I've not used my cane in over a month and a half. I've had no seizures, and I've only had 1 or 2 migraines that were very mild, hardly took any medication for, caused by the weather, and that was it. And they only lasted for a few hours. That's 2 migraines in about 2.5 months, where normally I'd have 6 to 10 to 12. And they'd last for days, and medication wouldn't work. I've gotten energy back. I've gotten enthusiasm back. My creativity is rising again. I'm 4 to 5 chapters now into writing books. Drawings have gone in a whole bunch of different directions. So, what changed? What caused this? What's the quick fix everybody is probably wanting to know that they can do? Well, there is no quick fix. It's like anything else in life. You have to invest. You got to invest in yourself. And what I've realized is also what kind of environment, what kind of people, and what kind of family and relatives you keep close to you affects you. Because in your personal garden of life, where you set down roots, anything that negatively and toxically affects you is basically a weed. It needs pulled out, it needs removed, tossed and burned. And if you keep letting them grow, you no longer have a personal garden, you now have a personal dump. So, my brain feels like it's derailing here for a moment. Give me a moment. Anyway, so what's changed is I've been in South Korea visiting my brother and his family, and I've had lots of personal time to reflect on myself, who I'm around, who I wish to keep around, and what is really going on with me. Half of my issues is a issue that a lot of humans out there do, and they feel a need to take on other people's problems and try to fix everybody when they have no right to, they have no business to, and it really has nothing to do with them because there's nothing personally involved. They just like to stick their nose into things, and that's usually how you get your nose whacked. That's also how you add stress. Now, that's been going on with me for a while with a lot of people I've come and met and throughout my life. I'm not talking about any one person. I'm not singling anybody out. I'm talking about the whole wide range of 20 years since I've been in the U.S. That said, the other interesting thing is coming to terms with the fact that many people struggle with the concept that we're here just randomly doing whatever, gone. I look at that and feel, well, if I'm just here randomly and then gone, what's the point of being here in the first place? Why not just have a barren planet? You know? Just leave me out of the equation if I'm going to have no meaning or no purpose here. I personally believe and see things that everybody is here for a reason. Now, this idea does not bode well with a lot of people. I've heard various opinions over my years. And it really boils down to either people are scared because they don't like the idea of what's going on, and they have no control over it because, well, let's face it, humans have a Napoleon complex and like to be in control over everything, or they throw a temper tantrum. I can tell you that real easily just by observing people's children, people's families. You can always tell which one has the burning desire and need to prove themselves, because they're going to do everything to make everyone pay attention, listen to them, until they get their way. That's natural. That's nature. Sorry, just checking my time. Can't go over 15 minutes, or my phone will be dead. But moving on. So you got some people that are afraid of that idea. You've got other people that ignore the idea completely. Why do they ignore it? Because their mind and their focus is not open and ready yet to deal with it. It is shrunken down into a very tight focused, drab, dreary-dyed woolen idea that has been shrunk and formed to only deal with their current world, their current miseries, and not any real reasoning or desire to really put effort into changing and moving on. There is a third possible type out there, but they're just the type that just likes to throw out opposites to start either arguments or conversation. You kind of know those when you talk to them. That said, it's everybody that needs to look at themselves, including me, and you have to wonder, what can I do to change myself, to be more positive, more energetic, and affect those around me? Because when you start changing yourself, you do start affecting those around you. People look at you differently, talk to you differently. They often ask you a lot of questions. Some of the questions you won't know. That's all right. Save them until later. All that said, how you take care of you and invest in yourself is what's going to really make a difference on your health, your mental state of mind. Your existence will improve a bit because you won't be focusing so much on the negatives in your existence, but more on, okay, I got this to do, that's fine, it's handled, now what? Now what can I do for myself or for others now that I've got my normal stuff out of the way? People don't do that. They just focus on, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. Or I don't want to deal with this, so I'm going to avoid it. That's not a good way of tending your personal garden. You've got to really want to make a difference. And I'm just about my last minute here. So, not sure how well this talk will go with people, but I'm just voicing it out there. You got to find a way to limit the negatives on your life, and the positives will increase more. Sometimes you have to make some messy decisions. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you gotta let go. Sometimes you gotta hold on. Life is life. Existence is existence. We only have so much time in a body, and then we move on to our next task. So, I want to know, I want to throw this at you. What are you going to do to change? Thanks for taking a walk with me.